Mr Speaker.
Barbara Kuriga.
Mr Speaker, this government, under the leadership of John Key, is working in the interests of every New Zealander, which is represented by the track record we hold for delivering results for all New Zealanders through the straightforward decisions we make. This government has got on with the job of locking in the gains of the last 6 years to create a long-term lift in New Zealand's prosperity and the betterment of all Kiwis. Mr Speaker, our regions are flourishing. Regional development and dismissing of boundaries between the urban and rural divide are integral to the growth of our country. The regional workings of New Zealand and the urban have to work together to act collectively to further the growth of New Zealand businesses, both domestically and internationally. Mr Speaker, this is what our business growth agenda is set to do. No industry or area of policy is an island. This government collaborates across many sectors to achieve the best results possible for Kiwis. The way that we move forward and strengthen the gains that this government has made in the past 6 years is to keep tracking forward with the team on this side of the House, which is full of talent, experience and, unlike the other side of the House, Mr Speaker, fresh faces and enthusiasm for what our government and leader are delivering. Mr Speaker, this national-led government understands that a strong economy is the key to boosting the Kiwi families who elected this side of the House for a third term. They asked and we are delivering. This government is providing world-leading public services that are lifting our long-term growth rate and ultimately diversifying and building productivity in this economy. Since being back after the election, this government has successfully completed negotiations for the free trade agreement with Korea, which creates more opportunities for businesses to grasp and cheaper products for consumers. This FTA extends across various sectors and is vital to agriculture, forestry and industrial sectors that are often seen as the backbone of New Zealand. Mr Speaker, this government is wholeheartedly committed to delivering more skills to the relevant industries which need them, and we are doing this by establishing 3 new ICT grad schools across New Zealand. Technology is a booming industry in New Zealand, Mr Speaker, and it is vitally important that this government is delivering where it can to enhance the sector for the future of Kiwis. In line with the ICT industry that's sweeping the globe, we're extending rural broadband initiatives so that all parts of New Zealand have world-class broadband coverage that is appropriate for the 21st century. This means ultra-fast broadband coverage will be available to a further 200,000 New Zealanders. This government recognises the importance of ultra-fast broadband and rural broadband to our Kiwis and our rural electorates. This side of the House, Mr Speaker, recognises the need to advance and improve these various aspects of life for New Zealanders, unlike the other side of the House, Mr Speaker, who are currently fighting over policies which would take New Zealand back decades. Mr Speaker, it speaks for itself that Kiwis are choosing to stay here in New Zealand. As we've heard, October saw the first month in over 20 years that net migration to New Zealand was positive. It is clear that the work that this government has done in bringing them back home for New Zealand, they see the opportunities for their children, for their families, their businesses, their investments. New Zealanders are no longer having to leave New Zealand shores for these opportunities, Mr Speaker, as they are right here, right now, in this country that we call home. Thank you.
Clayton Mitchell.